Hey, this is Colton with the Family Camping Service Center. I wanted to kind of go over something that happens sometimes. It's something that's happened to a few of our customers, and kind of talk about what to do whenever your propane detector goes off in the middle of the night and wakes you up and you don't know what to do about it. On the detector itself, it says to move to fresh air and call 911. That's a bit of an overreaction. There's a lot of different things that can cause these to go off, but you want to be safe about it because if you do have a propane leak coming into your trailer, that could be a really dangerous situation. So if this goes off in the middle of the night and it wakes you up and you think, I don't know what to do, it's going off, first thing you want to do is kind of see if you smell propane. You know, is it an obvious smell? Can you smell propane coming into the RV? If not, there's always a mute button on these things. You'll find it somewhere depending on what style you have. But you can push the mute button and just to get it quiet. The next thing you want to do after that, just to be on the safe side, because you don't want to deal with this in the middle of the night, you want to shut off your propane supply. So come outside to your propane bottles and shut both of them off completely. Make sure they're turned all the way off. If you're in a motorhome, you might have to crawl underneath it and look for something that looks like this. It could be in a compartment. Sometimes it's up underneath, but make sure to shut that tank off completely. What you're doing is just making sure that your propane system is completely shut off and that there's no chance that you have any more leaking into the RV. So now you can come back inside to your detector. So if you do have a propane leak, you've prevented it from leaking any farther. You've completely shut off your propane system. So now you can get this alarm to be quiet and safely go back to bed without worrying about propane leaking into your RV. You definitely don't want to disable this alarm without first shutting off your propane supply, because that's the whole reason this alarm is ran to the 12-volt system instead of having a battery or something in it. They want to make sure that this is always operational, because you definitely don't want to sleep in here with propane leaking in. And keep in mind too, if you're dry camping and your batteries are weak or low, that will cause this alarm to go off too. Okay, so we took the two screws out and we removed this. Now usually on the back side here, you'll find a fuse holder. And you can remove the fuse just like that. And you've just disabled the alarm. If you don't find a fuse holder, go to the negative, black here, and take the wire nut off and disconnect the negative wire. If there's no wire nut, it could be a crimp fitting. You might even have to cut the negative wire. But you know, as long as you've got a way to reconnect that. But if you do have to take the wire nut off or cut a crimp fitting or whatever, try to do it on the negative side so you make sure you don't have a positive wire back in the wall, possibly touching something. So again, pull that fuse out. You should have one. That should be the easiest way to do this. And now you've shut off your propane supply. You've disabled the alarm. You can safely go back to bed. And then the next morning, figure out what the issue is. If you have to take it into a repair shop or maybe figure out if it's a problem with the alarm or if you had something else going on. But it's definitely something to be taken seriously. That's the reason this alarm is here. Don't disable it and just go back to bed. Definitely go outside and shut off your propane supply. Make sure you don't smell propane. Kind of assess the situation a little bit. Probably don't call 911, but definitely figure out what's going on and get the propane shut off so that you can safely go back to bed and figure something out the next day. So hope this has been helpful to some of you guys out there. And see y'all next time.